here actually on the streets of New York City. We're making a video for our brand new single. It's called Hurricane, and it's this film, this beast that we're working on here. It's a surrealistic nightmare dream fantasy through the desolate, empty streets of New York City at night. It's very much a dreamscape. There's no people, there's no cars, and you see the band as we encounter some fears, some fetishes. It's quite a bizarre adventure, that's for sure. I knew early on that I wanted to do something sexual. I wanted to do something that was fetishistic. I wanted to explore the darker sides of sexuality.
We haven't really done that with this band.
It's smart for us to go down that path at all. Do we delve into that territory and kind of explore that? And then ultimately, obviously, the answer was yes.
It made sense. I was like, of course. I was like, yeah, we have to do that, you know, because we're such a sexual band.
Sex. To go full on like fetish, bondage, latex, and explore sexuality in a surreal way too.
I wanted to explore dreams, which have always been really influential for me as a songwriter.
I do remember really just a couple of conversations about that with Jared. Like any particular dreams that you remember, or recurring dreams, or also like fear type dreams.
Like a waking nightmare. Like what's your greatest pleasure? What's your greatest pain?
Paranoid, chased, being chased. Like you don't know what you're running towards or from. So those are the two worlds. I try to combine them, but it's tough. You're seeing the inner workings of Bartholomew Covens right now.
When you're dealing with dreams and sexuality, the sky was the limit. So we began the adventure. At the very beginning of the pre-production phase, I was on the road writing and researching, plotting and planning, and I wanted to see what violence looked like to the tempo of the song.
The prep, I remember Tomo and I got all dressed up. Jared wanted to shoot a fight sequence.
We shot Shannon and Tomo fighting backstage at a show. It looked very Fight Club, so it was cool. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but, you know. What's the first rule?
Action. Just walk in and then just stare at each other. Stop. Sorry. Okay. Action. Do it again. Action. And one more time.
I think it's pretty safe to say that Shannon kicked my ass.
I kicked his ass. I kicked his ass.
I do a lot of pre-production, not only for myself, but to kind of let other people know what I'm thinking about and to communicate with the team that's going to help make it come to life so people can really be on the same page.
So all that stuff would happen before me. Shannon racing on the bike, Tomo walking on the subway. You know, all that stuff would happen around in the first verse, and then boom, tell me, would you...
How far? It's a film of metaphors, symbolic imagery, little paintings, each one.
You know, I'd love to see a scene where someone's getting forced into a coffin. That's like ready to be lowered to the ground. Yeah, or just even in a room and then putting the nails in it.
What are we running from? For me, your fears, your phobias, your failure. What are you running to? Your dreams, your hopes, your desire.
Yeah.
And along the way, you have battles, fights, metaphor for whatever in life, and you have temptation. There'll be all kinds of inserts and stuff to it, like fetishistic stuff, like, you know, a paddle, someone getting spanked, choked. Like, once you have this world, you can insert all kinds of things.
Yeah.
I think from like scenes that you don't even know are happening, or from the rave. Like, we walk into this place and it should be like everywhere you look, there's like something crazy happening. You know?
That makes sense.
You know, it's the cacophony, it's the whole
Yeah, like
amalgamation
you're
of
seeing
everything.
Jared dreams up an idea, and then he kind of lives completely inside of it for the entire time until we start shooting, and it kind of gets made that way.
It was exciting to see what Jared would do with it.
Fire inside of our car and then ride about
If you shoot in New York, you want to embrace that city. You want to feel New York in every frame. There was a lot of debate about where to shoot. There were a lot of different cities considered all over the world.
There's something about the idea of shooting in New York that's so personal to me because it's been this, I've had this relationship with New York.
I decided on New York City because it's been such an important city for me, a really defining, special landmark. It's always been a place for me that's stoked my imagination. I think in a lot of ways this short film, Hurricane, is a love letter to the city itself. Even if you had $1 million right now, it'd be really hard to pull this stuff off in the short amount of time that we have. If you're doing anything that has to do with music these days, you have very little money, you have to make it stretch. People often look at 30 Seconds to Mars videos I've done, and they think that we've spent $1 gazillion on them, and it's just not true. We've actually spent a relatively small amount comparative to the images that you see on the screen. To get $1 trillion worth of production, location, location, location. When we got to New York City, the first thing that we did, we actually started location scouting. We had a chance to rehearse, really, to look at light and to think about everything from stunts to performance. This is great. I love the fact that there's this staircase to come down. It's really great. Throw some light up there. I love those doors over here too, are really nice.
We could take a walk around.
Okay. I can do a bunch of different scenes that I can cut throughout the video, inserts and sexual things and weird people up against the wall doing God knows what here.
How many breaths that you took, you still couldn't breathe. No matter how many nights that you lie wide awake to the sound of pulsing breath. Where did you go? Where did you go? Where did you go?
To sing along, the sing scene of me tying a girl, putting the thing on, putting the ball gag. She's here, and then you see me enter frame, sing the first line, put the mask on her, disappear out of frame, then put the ball gag on. We can shoot a fly so you still see me singing along. So this way. And then I'll just play with that space. And maybe there's a paddle and a spanker or something.
Okay, well let's move on. This is a place we want to use for sure. I would say, yeah. What a building. We had a great DP, a guy named Benoit Deby. He shot a film called Enter the Void. You know, I spent a lot of time with all of these scenes and dreaming and imagining and creating them. And I'm happy to have someone come and make them even weirder, even crazier or even more beautiful. It looks so good. I love this. It's great. So I will be shooting tomorrow. I don't know what I'm shooting, but I need to shoot something tomorrow. We had this really small window to shoot in because we were shooting in the middle of a tour. It started getting really, really intense because the label was adamant about getting a delivered video before the end of the holidays. We had to shoot within a specific window.
It was very stressful and there was like a lot of work to do.
The first day, we had to just basically go guerrilla style. Oh, this video is gonna kill me. The first day was thrown together and we were shooting all nights in New York City, so we shot basically from sundown to sunrise. And the first day we shot in an alley. This is a film that takes place in a dreamscape. And in this dreamscape, there was no traffic, there were no cars.
I'm walking here! Alright, that's a cut! You can send traffic.
Here we are in one of the biggest cities in the world, trying to clear out all the cars and all the people, and that was really tough. But we managed to get our shots. We moved from this first location in the alley to the Brooklyn Bridge.
There's definitely an energy in the air. I just knew it was going to be a very interesting and exciting shoot.
As soon as we do a take, I noticed there's a worker in a bright green fluorescent outfit behind Shannon in the shot, so we had to redo it.
I had my iPod, I was trying to listen to it, but I had to bang at the same time, and I couldn't have it in the shot.
Got what we needed on the Brooklyn Bridge. It looked great. Shannon did a great job. Day 2 was a huge day. The first day was really a half a day, but day 2 was really about 3 days or 4 combined in one. We shot at a location called Chambers Street, and this was the climax of the film.
He becomes the director that he needs to be for that video, and like as far as like letting people do certain things and like what he decides to focus on. He was really deeply ingrained in like getting the shots that he knew he needed.
Jared working his ass off trying to get it done.
You want to front kick him? Is that the
I'd film him back in the thing. He should like go like evil in the first part.
So immediately after shooting that and, you know, miraculously getting what we needed and then some, we went outside and we shot the exterior of the coffin scene. Next location, which nobody thought that we would get. I didn't even think we would get, and it's to Anka's credit that we actually got it, because I went over it at one point. I said, you know, the first AD is saying we're not gonna get this, and she said, why? Get it, let's get it. And that little bit of encouragement, I said, all right, well, fuck it, let's go.
7 minutes, guys.
Go, pictures up, lock it up, roll camera.
The most innocent kiss in the dirtiest video in rock and roll.
I was running back and forth from location to location, and it was a hell of a day. Day 3, Central Park was a dream. I've always wanted to shoot in Central Park. I've spent a lot of time there growing up, and it's a magical place to shoot. A lot of people were pushing me to shoot in Brooklyn instead because it's cheaper and it's easier, but I really wanted just to have a piece of the city behind Shannon and Aggie when they were sitting on the park bench, and even for part of the fight you could see that city, you could see that skyline. And Shannon did his fight scene and he was really good, too good in fact. I think he was beating up the stunt guys.
Get in there, kick his fucking ass. Yeah, get over there. Nope. Okay, one more time. Do it.
One more.
Okay.
Birdman, you all right?
I was hitting him pretty hard, actually. I remember hitting that guy's back, I don't know how many times. Thank you guys, you sold it.
And then while everybody made a company move to go to the next location, a few of us stayed in Central Park to shoot me in the coffin. And one of the hardest things was that fucking lighter. I mean, but we didn't have any lighter fluid, so it ran out, and this flame was getting smaller and smaller.
This lighter's fucked.
I just grabbed someone's Bic lighter and I held it a little bit closer in my hand. The Bic actually worked better. It had a longer flame and it was brighter. So we had time, literally, I think, for one take to fall out.
Now.
Switch off tonight.
That's all we got.
And it ended up working. And then we moved to the final location, which was in Chelsea. We blocked an entire 2 streets off. Tonight we're going to shoot a stunt with my brother Shannon on a motorcycle. He also gets stabbed by a beautiful woman. We have a book burning. 3, 2, so bring it up from the bottom, okay? So it's 3, 2, back, throw. I'm surprised actually that scene didn't provoke a little bit more conversation than it has. I think that's a worthy conversation to have about the right people have to practice their religion and be respected. What a great face. Perfect. Great. We're moving on. Let's go to the stunt. We have a stunt right now where I'm going to jump into frame. Action! I'm gonna go to normal speed when I hit anyway, and then I'll come up for a little bit slower here. This is cool.
We're gonna look radical.
Right.
That's good. No, this is nice, huh?
Yeah, we're moving on. But the big shot tonight is the stunt with Shannon wrecking his bike. The first take, the stunt guy comes around the corner and he lays the bike down, and it didn't go so well. And second, the bike came around so fast and he laid that bike down and skidded so far it must have gone 150 feet. Almost killed somebody.
People just started scattering everywhere.
I was like, I couldn't believe it.
We need Shannon dressed and on set, and Aggie dressed and on set.
Jared wanted to see me sliding, so I had a harness strapped to me with a wire. I was just being pulled. You see me being pulled. That was fun.
And then you lean in like this, and then boom, yeah. All right, take that helmet off. Throw it on the ground.
Where is your God? Where is your God? Where is your God?
It was good. The last one was good. We finished up Shannon's stunt. We finished up the other things that we had to shoot in this location, and ended the day or the night at about 7 in the morning. The sun was out. I shot a scene on a piano, my performance, which never got used. And if you look at it, you see Shannon performing in Tomo, but never mine. You win some, you lose some. We got on the tour bus. It picked us up 7 in the morning, and we headed out to the next show. Finished those 3 days in New York, and that was supposed to be it. And it ended up being really just the beginning of a really incredible adventure that took us to many, many more cities all around the world, shooting and editing.
We played a show tonight, and we're actually in a parking lot right next to the beach right now, and just putting together scenes and feeling things out. We're still shooting. I have brown hair, which is an issue, and I don't have a mullet, which normally would be a good thing, but in this case, not having a mullet is a very bad thing. Or not having a blonde mullet on top of it. I don't know if it's blonde, it's more just like salt and pepper, frosted, highlighted.
We had the day off in Chicago, and we decided it's a beautiful city, so we should shoot there. I remember I woke up that day and I exited the bus and I saw this beautiful, strange door. I had this elaborate way I was supposed to get my key. Everyone gets a key in the film, but we had to simplify it. And I went through a bunch of different ideas, and this is actually the one thing that Emma came up with, was getting the key from a door. She's something about a door. I said, well, that's interesting and really shootable.
All alive to
one of my favorite scenes. So we shot that in Chicago. We also shot another scene, a pickup scene in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Last night we shot me falling from the coffin.
I probably jumped off this ladder 100 times.
That was great.
But the funny part about it is that in the final edit, not a single one of those shots of me actually landing is in the film. So it was a huge waste of time and energy, but I'll always have that memory of me jumping onto that lumpy old YMCA mat.
So we're editing. Lots of stuff happening.
New York City making a video for a song called Hurricane.
I was pretty shocked to find out that no matter how many edits I seemed to make, it was still impossible for it to get on the air, and it was banned from several networks around the world.
There's a lot of nonsense on TV that's much more offensive to me than that video is, so where's my censorship board?
So I was shocked that it got banned, and surprised that people seemed to have so much of an issue with the sex but not with the violence.
These people really did something brave. They're not acting. Those aren't actors. We didn't have a costume department going out and renting something. Those are people that are sharing a really deep and special and intense part of their lives with all of us. And I always feel so lucky that they trusted me enough to allow that to happen, and to have allow us to look behind the curtain a little bit. It was a gift.
Hurricane is forever a part of 30 Seconds to Mars now, and I think that it was an important step for us. We explored territory that we hadn't before.
I love the video. I think it's amazing.
It was great. I had a great time. I loved shooting it. Yeah, supported Jared's vision and trusted it.
Jared went for it with this video and kind of just like didn't really hold anything back.
We had an experience that was unforgettable, and we're really proud of that.